The morning in Glendale was calm. The sky a crystal clear blue. The sidewalk outside the local coffee shop buzzed with early risers sipping coffee and chatting. At a corner table sat Michael Carter, a blind man who visited the cafe every day. By his side stood Zeus, his German shepherd, alert and watchful. But Zeus wasn't just a guide dog. He was a retired canine unit, trained for high-pressure situations, with instincts sharper than most humans. He wasn't just there to lead Michael. He was there to protect him. As Michael quietly sipped his coffee, the sudden roar of motorcycle engines shattered the peaceful morning. 3 bikes pulled into a nearby space, catching the attention of everyone around. The riders dismounted, leather jackets, bold patches, an air of defiance in how they scanned the area. Chuck, their leader, had a swagger about him, loud, confident, dominant. He laughed as he gestured to his friends, and his presence quickly shifted the atmosphere. Zeus perked up, ears raised, body tense. He sensed something off. The men walked casually between tables, sizing up patrons. Chuck spotted Zeus. "That's a big dog you got there," he said with a smirk, locking eyes with the animal. He leaned forward, testing the dog's reaction. Zeus didn't move, but his stillness was deliberate, a silent warning. Chuck chuckled. "Is he really as smart as he looks?" he asked his friends. They laughed, uneasy. Michael, unable to see, turned his head. "Is everything okay?" he asked, his voice calm but uncertain. He could feel Zeus's tension. Chuck raised his hands as if joking, but his tone was laced with mockery. Michael gently reached toward Zeus. "You okay, buddy?" The shepherd stepped a little closer, never breaking eye contact with Chuck. Chuck's pride stung. He stepped forward, grinning. "Nice-looking dog. Zeus, huh? Greek god's name. Let's see if he lives up to it." Without warning, he reached for Zeus's snout. What seemed playful to some was, to Zeus, a threat. The dog growled low, deep, controlled, unmistakable. "Easy there, boy," Chuck muttered, stepping back. But the glint in his eye betrayed a growing resentment. Michael placed a calming hand on Zeus's neck. "Sorry if he scared you." Chuck forced a laugh, but his pride was bruised. His friends chimed in. "You gonna let a dog put you in your place, Chuck?" The tension snapped like a wire. Chuck, now needing to prove something, moved closer. "Come on, big guy," he said, reaching out again, this time brushing the side of Michael's chair. In one swift motion, Zeus stood. No barking, just posture, tense as a drawn bow. The cafe fell silent. People began filming. Zeus was ready. Michael furrowed his brow. "What's going on here?" Chuck laughed nervously. "Nothing, man. Just messing around." That's when a woman nearby stood up. "You need to stop," she said firmly. Chuck paused. The crowd was against him now. Still, he didn't back down. He smirked, took a step toward Michael, and Zeus growled again. Michael tightened the leash. "Zeus, calm down. What's going on?" Chuck made a sudden move, pretending to retreat, then kicked a nearby chair toward the dog. Metal scraped across concrete. Gasps erupted. Zeus dodged, swift and precise, growling louder now. "Hey, stop it!" the woman yelled again. Others joined her. "What's the problem?" Chuck scoffed. "You people never seen someone play with a dog before?" But his fists were clenched, and Zeus wasn't buying the act. Michael, confused and tense, stood. "Can someone tell me what's going on here?" Chuck stepped in close, too close. Zeus moved between them, baring his teeth. "What's wrong, buddy?" Chuck mocked. "Hiding behind your dog?" Michael stood firm. Zeus doesn't hide me from anything. He protects me. And right now, I trust his instincts more than your words." A deep, booming bark burst from Zeus. Chuck froze. Michael raised his chin. "I think it's best if you leave." The crowd murmured in agreement. Chuck, finally defeated, backed away in silence. Within moments, he and his friends disappeared around the corner. Michael exhaled slowly. He felt Zeus's leash trembling, his companions still on edge. He crouched, gently brushing the dog's fur. "It's okay now, buddy." But Zeus's eyes stayed fixed on the distance, as if sensing it wasn't over. The woman from earlier approached. "Are you okay?" she asked softly. Michael nodded. "I'm fine, but Zeus, he's never reacted like this before. That worries me." She knelt beside the dog. "He's not ordinary, is he?" Michael hesitated. "No, he used to serve, but I thought he left all that behind." "Maybe he didn't," she said. "Maybe he remembers exactly who he is." An older man stepped forward. "Son, dogs like him, they feel things we don't." "That man, Chuck? He didn't seem like someone who gives up easily." "Stay alert." Michael nodded and gripped the leash a little tighter. Zeus looked at him, his expression unreadable, yet deeply understood. Then, in the distance, the rumble of motorcycles. Fainter, but still there. Michael took a deep breath. Maybe he was just being paranoid. But Zeus wasn't. He was still alert, still listening, still waiting. And somewhere deep inside, Michael knew this wasn't over. That evening settled quietly over the neighborhood. But inside Michael's apartment, the tension hadn't left. He sat at the kitchen table, carefully slicing an apple. Zeus lay beside him, eyes fixed on the front door. Michael reached down, fingers brushing the dog's fur. "Maybe I'm overthinking this, right, buddy?" Zeus didn't respond. His ears twitched, his gaze sharpened. The room felt heavier, like it was holding its breath. Then, the distant hum of engines. Faint, but body rigid, staring at the door. Michael froze. "What is it, Zeus?" he whispered. The engines stopped, silence fell. Then, a knock, sharp, deliberate. Zeus growled and positioned himself between Michael and the door. Michael stood slowly, hand tightening around the leash. "Who is it?" he called out. No response, just murmurs on the other side. Michael's pulse quickened. "I'm not opening the door until you tell me who you are." A voice answered, deep, familiar. "Relax, man. It's just me, Chuck." Michael went cold. Zeus barked, a sharp, explosive warning. "What do you want?" Michael called out, voice steeled with suspicion. Chuck replied, trying to sound casual. "No hard feelings from earlier. Just wanted to talk." Michael didn't answer. He could feel Zeus's muscles coiled beneath his hand. Something wasn't right. "You need to leave," Michael said firmly. Footsteps shuffled, then retreated. But Zeus didn't relax. Neither did Michael. Minutes passed. Michael paced the room, trailing his hand along the walls. Zeus stayed near the window, tense, ears up, sniffing the air. "What is it, boy?" Michael asked softly. Then, footsteps, outside, deliberate, circling the building. Zeus barked, loud and sharp. Michael grabbed his phone, dialing 911 with shaking fingers. "There's someone outside my apartment," he told the dispatcher. "I think they mean trouble." Zeus pressed against the door, growling. Michael held tight to the leash. The dispatcher reassured him. Officers were on the way. But every second felt like an hour. Outside, the footsteps grew louder, closer. Then, a scraping noise at the window. Michael's heart pounded. Zeus barked again, body tense, ready to pounce. The sound stopped. A muffled curse followed. Michael backed into the corner, trying to stay calm. "They're coming, Zeus," he murmured. "Hold on." Then, sirens. The sweet, distant sound of rescue. The fool. A door slammed somewhere down the block. Michael exhaled. Relief, brief but real. "They're here." "Thank you," he told the dispatcher. A knock on the door. Michael opened it cautiously. 2 officers stood there, red and blue lights flickering behind them. "Thank you for coming," he said. Zeus remained alert. His gaze never left the shadows. The officers listened as Michael explained everything. The encounter with Chuck, the return, the sounds outside the window. "He didn't touch me," Michael admitted, "but he's unpredictable, and I know he'll come back." One officer knelt to pet Zeus. The dog didn't flinch. He just watched. "If he's this tense," the officer said, "you're right to be cautious." They found fresh footprints beneath the window. But Chuck was gone. "Probably took off when he heard us," one of them said. "We'll increase patrols. Keep your phone nearby. And if you feel unsafe, leave." Michael nodded. But he wasn't going anywhere. After the officers left, silence returned. It felt thicker now. Michael sat at the edge of his bed. Zeus lay at his feet, still watchful. Michael stroked his back slowly. "I don't know what's coming, boy, but I know you'll be ready." Zeus's tail twitched, the first hint of calm all night. Eventually, Michael drifted to sleep. Fitful, restless, but Zeus stayed by the door, guarding, listening, waiting. He wasn't just a dog. He was a shield between his owner and the darkness beyond that door. And deep down, Zeus knew this wasn't over. The next day passed slowly, too slowly. Michael stayed indoors, curtains drawn. He couldn't see the world outside, but he could feel it. The air was heavy, like a storm still gathering. Zeus rarely left the front door. Every creak in the hallway made his ears twitch. Every passing footstep made his body tense. Michael moved carefully around the apartment, always keeping a hand on the leash. "Still, I wish I could see what you see." Evening crept in. The city slowed. But Michael didn't relax. Neither did Zeus. Just as he sat down with a warm mug of tea, there it was again. Engines. 1, 2, 3. The same low rumble. Zeus stood instantly. A low growl rolled through his chest. Michael's hands trembled. Not again. The bikes didn't park this time. They circled the block. Slow, taunting. Then silence. Michael moved toward the door, but Zeus blocked the way. Head low. Eyes burning with focus. A sound outside, light tapping against the window frame. Then a whisper. "Michael." It was Chuck. His voice calm. Too calm. Michael didn't respond. He just reached for the phone, dialing the police once more. "Same guy," he told them. "He's back." Zeus's body vibrated with tension. This time, it was different. Worse. More deliberate. Then, a crash. Glass. The back window. Michael dropped the phone. Zeus launched into Modi. A figure tried to climb through. Chuck. But he wasn't laughing this time. He wasn't mocking. He was desperate, angry. Michael backed into the hallway, hand gripping the leash. But Zeus was already moving. The moment Chuck stepped inside, he was met with a wall of fur and fury. Zeus lunged, not to maim, but to stop, to protect, to end this. A snarl echoed through the apartment. Zeus didn't bite, but he pinned Chuck hard against the floor, teeth bared an inch from his throat. Chuck didn't move. Couldn't. The threat was over. Michael slowly stepped forward, one hand outstretched. "Zeus, stand down." The shepherd obeyed, but didn't retreat. He stayed between his owner and the man who had brought fear into their lives. Moments later, flashing lights, sirens, voices shouting outside. Police stormed in. Chuck was handcuffed, dragged out the broken window he came through. He didn't say a word, but his eyes, they met Zeus's one last time. And in that stare, there was no arrogance left, only defeat. A female officer approached Michael. "You okay, sir?" Michael nodded slowly. "I am now, thanks to him." He knelt beside Zeus and whispered, "You did it, boy. You did it." Zeus's body finally relaxed. For the first time in 2 days, he exhaled fully. The officers secured the apartment and took statements. Neighbors gathered outside, murmuring in disbelief. By the time the last cruiser pulled away, it was well past midnight. Michael sat on the couch, Zeus curled tightly at his feet. He stroked the dog's fur in silence, grateful beyond words. "I always knew you were special," he said. "But tonight, you weren't just my eyes. You were my shield, my voice, my strength." Zeus wagged his tail. Once, slowly. Outside, the night was still. The danger had passed. But the bond between them, it was unbreakable now. And whatever the world threw at them next, they would face it together. Enjoyed the story? Tap the like button and subscribe to hear more real-life tales that remind us of the strength of trust, love, and loyalty.